Kia ora, a cold start today for many spots across the North Island, but a nice clear one for many parts of the north as well. We've had a bit more cloud around the likes of, say, Wellington up towards the Kapiti Coast, up to into Manawatu, and you can see there's more cloud in the far south as well. But while temperatures in places like Taupo got down to about -4 degrees Celsius last night, temperatures in Invercargill at the same time are around about 12 or 13 degrees Celsius, thanks to that cloud, helping to keep things a little bit milder through the night time. Now, the good news is, as we head through this afternoon, we've got plenty of dry weather through Canterbury northwards. We've got a bit more cloud down in the far south and might find a few spots of rain through parts of Otago. But really, any wet weather is going to be along that western coast in towards Fiordland. For many of us, it's a dry looking afternoon. Plenty more clear sky. And with that sunshine as well, we're going to find our temperatures really lifting nicely around the eastern coast. Back to highs of around about 22 or 23 degrees Celsius through parts of Canterbury, so a much milder looking day there. But generally a dry looking afternoon and a dry night ahead of us as well as we go through Wednesday. We'll find plenty more dry weather in towards the night. High pressure sits over us and it keeps most of New Zealand dry and clear. We will find a bit more cloud pushing on towards those western coasts, but temperature-wise, it's not nearly as cold across those northern parts as we'll go through towards the early hours of Thursday, as we saw first thing on Wednesday morning. Now, it's still cold. Temperatures around about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, but that's about 3 or 4 degrees warmer than we saw last night. And we are looking at temperatures again back down to around about 6 or 7 through parts of Canterbury. As we head through into Thursday, though, there's still plenty of dry weather. That high pressure is sat right over the country, and it keeps many of us dry right the way through the daytime. There will be more cloud on the western side of the country, and you can see out over the Tasman Sea, there's that next feature set to move closer towards us. Now, it's going to arrive as we head in towards Friday on that western coast of the South Island. But really, we're looking at a dry story across the majority of the North Island for Thursday. Like I say, there is a bit more cloud across this western side from, say, Taranaki right the way up towards Waikato, Waitomo, up in towards Auckland as well. But there's plenty of clear sky right the way through the bay. Plenty out on the eastern coast and even down towards Wellington as well. Just a touch more cloud from time to time on that western coast. But even here, I think that should thin as we head through the afternoon. In terms of our temperatures, once again, highs back into the 20s. Look at that, 23 degrees Celsius there for Rotorua, a fine looking day, and similar temperatures out on the eastern coast as well, but generally a very mild looking day for this time of year. And we are going to find those temperatures not nearly as cold again overnight. 8s and 9s, very different to what we saw last night across the likes of, say, Taupo and Rotorua. On the South Island, again, there's plenty of dry weather. You'll notice that east-west split with more cloud on that western coast. And even here, we'll find most spots will stay dry. There'll be a few spots of patchy rain down through Fiordland, but really it's the exception rather than the rule. Most spots staying dry, nice and clear as well. And again, our temperatures really very pleasant indeed, especially on this eastern side of the South Island. Temperatures back up into the 20s for many spots, 19, 20, 22 degrees Celsius there down for Invercargill, and lows, again, not nearly as cold as we saw at the start of the week. As we head through the next few days, we'll find that front continues to move in from the Tasman Sea. You can see some tightening isobars through there, as well as some stronger winds around the likes of the far southern parts of Fiordland. That wet weather feeds on towards the western coast through Fiordland, up in towards Western by the end of the day on Friday. But you'll notice for the North Island, it stays dry. There's more cloud again on that western side ahead of this feature, and we will find that cloud thickening up by the end of the day, and that front does make its way northwards for Saturday. But generally, dry weather continues across the North Island for Friday, and for most of the eastern side of the South Island as well, just with that more cloud coming through, and some wetter weather pushing up that western coast of the South Island. That's it from me. It's not metservice.com.